Doctor, doctor, give me the news. I got a sprinter van that's blowing a fuse.
Hey, what's up guys? Sprinter Doctor here. Do you have a Sprinter with an OM651 engine and you have a check engine light and a loss of power? Well, if so, the cause might be a vacuum leak somewhere. You may have multiple different fault codes, including P0299FA, boost pressure of turbocharger 1 is too low, P0299FB, boost pressure of turbocharger 1 is too low, P0261F71, the output for the recirculation pump coolant has a malfunction or does not switch on, the actuator is blocked, or code P226COO, boost pressure control 1 has a delayed reaction. Any of those codes, plus there's plenty of other codes that could possibly be set by the vacuum system having a leak, or also the vacuum system can become contaminated with coolant if the water pump starts leaking into the vacuum system. Also, you could possibly get oil leaking into the vacuum system from the vacuum pump. So any of these things could cause check engine light and a loss of power. So I'm going to walk you through how to check your vacuum system and hopefully help you get your vehicle repaired and back on the road. So let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do is to start the engine. I'm going to check my vacuum supply at the brake booster. What I'm looking for is I want this needle to go up nice and fast to show that we've got good vacuum supply. This is the vacuum hose that supplies vacuum to the reservoir, the vacuum reservoir. So we have to make sure we have good vacuum. So I'm going to unplug the vacuum supply hose there, and I'm going to hook my tester up, and we're going to see how fast our vacuum goes up. All right. You can see it goes up nice and fast. So that's good. You see we got almost 30 inches of vacuum there. So now we can be sure we've got good vacuum supply. Some other things that we need to do to check our vacuum system is we need to pull this out. We need to look inside our brake booster. Make sure we don't see any engine oil, because I have seen vacuum pumps leak engine oil into the vacuum system. This one looks okay. I don't see any engine oil. And also, you want to make sure you don't see any white, crusty substance in your vacuum lines, because that would indicate that the coolant pump is leaking coolant into your vacuum system. Your vacuum reservoir here, take this completely off the engine, shake it, and if you hear any kind of debris shaking around in there, you need to replace it and check your water pump, make sure it's not leaking, or maybe it was previously leaking and got coolant, dried coolant in your vacuum system, and can cause the system to get clogged and not be able to supply vacuum to your all three ports. So that's another thing that you need to check. Another thing that can cause you to have low boost on these vehicles, losing power when it's cold, your water pump can be leaking vacuum, and so we need to check, make sure your water pump is not leaking vacuum. That is the vacuum hose going to the water pump right there. So what I do is I disconnect it from my vacuum switchover valve, and I connect my vacuum tester. I apply vacuum to the water pump, make sure it is not leaking vacuum. On the 651 engine, most of the time when I have boost codes, low boost codes. It's this one of these guys right here. This is the vacuum transducer for the turbocharger wastegate. This is what controls the vacuum going to the wastegate on the turbo. There's 2 wastegates on these turbos, and there's 2 of these vacuum transducers, and these are prone to leaking, and I'm going to show you how I test these. So there's 3 vacuum lines on your vacuum reservoir. One goes around to the front of the engine, it tees off. One goes to the water pump switchover valve, and the other one goes to one of the vacuum transducers for one of the turbo wastegates. All right, and one of the other vacuum lines on the vacuum reservoir goes down to the switchover valve for the EGR cooler bypass flap. I hardly have ever had trouble out of that one. You only need to replace that usually if you have coolant contamination in the vacuum system or oil contamination in the vacuum system. All right, so, and then there's the 3rd vacuum supply line on the reservoir, vacuum reservoir, that goes to another vacuum transducer for the other wastegate. The other one is down on the driver's side of the engine, kind of down low, and that sends vacuum to the other wastegate on the turbo. So I'm going to go over how I like to test these, what works for me. I like to get the engine idling. When the engine is at idle, it is activating both of these transducers to close both of the wastegate valves on the turbocharger. So when I have the engine idling, I'll pull one of the vacuum lines off the reservoir, and I'll use my vacuum tester to try to close the wastegate valve with my vacuum tester. And if everything's working the way it should, the wastegate should close. Okay, you always need to verify where your vacuum lines are routed to, because somebody might have got them mixed up at some point. But usually, if everything is correct, the front vacuum line, the one with the single 1 dot right there, that is usually the one that runs over around to the front of the engine. It tees off right here, and one goes to the switchover valve for the coolant pump, and the other one, the other vacuum line, goes over to this vacuum transducer for one of the wastegate valves. All right, and then when we come back over here and look at the middle vacuum line, that one is usually going down to the switchover valve for the EGR cooler bypass flap. It looks just like the switchover valve for the water pump, but I can't see it from here. It's kind of hidden. So, and usually on the 3rd one, the one with the 3 dots, that one runs down to the other vacuum transducer, and that's, try to get you a picture of it. All right, you see it hiding back there? There it is. It's got 3 hose connections on it. One is the supply, one is the line, the vacuum hose going to the wastegate, and the other one is a vent. All right. So now I'm going to crank the engine up, and I'm going to start with that back one, the 3rd one, and we're going to pull the vacuum on and watch the wastegate valve. See, that's what I consider good. It leaks down very slowly. And you can see the actuator is just now starting to open back up after I stopped applying vacuum manually. So let's do it one more time. And I can almost get this one up to 20 inches of vacuum. See how slow that's leaking off? To me, that's good. They should all be like that. Now I'm going to go from this rear vacuum line to this front one right here so we can check the other wastegate. All right, I'm going to test the vacuum circuit going over to the water pump and to the other wastegate. Keep in mind that when the engine's cold, it's going to be in warm-up mode, so it's going to be energizing the switchover valve to send vacuum to the water pump and energizing the valve to send vacuum over to the turbo wastegate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to disconnect this vacuum line leading to the water pump and the turbo, and I'm going to try to pump up vacuum to it, test it, and make sure we're holding vacuum. Go ahead and crank it up for me, Joe. You can see our wastegate begin to close. When it gets all the way closed, you'll start building up a vacuum. There's a little past 10 inches of vacuum, about 12. About 12 is as high as I can get it. All right, now I'm gonna stop. And you can see it leak down. And when it leaks down enough, you'll see that wastegate begin to open back up. I'm going to focus on the wastegate valve now and begin to pump vacuum. I got about 12 inches now. I'm going to stop. You can see the wastegate begin to open back up. See, that's leaking a little faster than I like, but it's still not causing a problem. But eventually, if it gets worse, it will begin to cause a problem.